Hello world, I'm Jared and I write for Disney Out
We're
Loud.
going to talk about episode 11 of A Million Little Things that just aired this past week.
It's called Secrets and Lies, and wow, did it just start off with Secrets and Lies.
Very smooth.
Yes, very, yeah. So we open up and it's John talking, like a video of John recording, and it looks very, bad. Like, John has gone downhill, and he starts apologizing to Barbara Morgan, the mystery person that hasn't been confirmed who this person is. They've been teasing it since the first half of the season, and it will continue until one episode will tell us who Barbara Morgan is.
Yeah, and I think they're getting closer to that. We got that new character that's been introduced at the end and in the previews, so I think they're getting closer to talk about who Barbara Morgan is in the show.
Yeah.
But it is something they've been dragging out for a while. So, but I agree. I think a lot of this episode did a good job of balancing all these different storylines with Eddie coming back. Didn't know how long he was going to be out of the picture for a while there at this tour. So it looks like he's going to be kind of popping in and out. We had the whole thing with Delilah still with the money. And it's nice to see. I really like her relationship with Catherine. Because it got that awkwardness of what happened in the past. But it looks like they're both kind of working past it to get into what's going to happen to them with the money and all her things.
Definitely. So the kind of what happens in this episode, this big main event, is there is a suicide prevention 5K run that the whole group is going to do in memory of John and whatnot. So the big event of this episode is a suicide prevention 5K run that the group gets together to do in honor of John, of course, since he sadly was a victim of suicide. And it was a great way to bring everyone together and do this big event. My favorite part, of course, and I think it was everyone else's favorite part of the episode, was when Maggie crosses the finish line. And we've seen so much this episode where she's like, I'm going to do this 5K, I'm going to do well. But of course, midway, her body just shuts down, and she can't do it.
Poor Gary. He can't run to save his life.
Yeah.
I think it's really nice having the different scenes, like showing Gary and Maggie. I just worry that all these nice scenes of Gary and Maggie might be kind of maybe foreshadowing something tragic happening to Maggie. I don't know if they're going to go that route with Maggie. I think it would be a little too much for the show to have something for her to die of the cancer. But it does tug on the heartstrings, especially when she's not able to finish it and she breaks down about this is the one thing that kind of gave her life. And it was sweet seeing Gary, even though he knows it's going to be difficult for her, still gives her that chance of you got to go out there and still try it, and he supports her for that. So it's nice to see the first part of Gary, like last episodes where you can't do anything, got to get treatment, and that's it, to Gary nowadays, you got to get the treatment, but I'll still be there to support you when you want to live your life or those type of things. So I thought it was pretty nice.
Yeah.
And of course, Theo.
Yeah, Theo is such a scene stealer in this show.
What lessons of life have we learned from Theo in this episode?
If you're a wallflower, that's a good trait to have if you can blend into the background. That's what I got.
That you don't need to have pants to be ready.
You know what? That's true.
And Crocs are perfect because you don't need socks. They're shoes and socks together.
I never thought of that. Yeah, Crocs are such an essential point.
No, Theo is the best part of the show. He always has his words of wisdom and his lessons, and even when people think he's reading, he's really not.
Yeah.
So what else in this episode? Well, we have the big plot line, sort of. They started this show with it, and they kind of now are resolving it, happening with the son. I forgot his name now off the top of my head. Danny,
yeah.
Danny and his friend Elliot. They kind of started off with him and Gary at the beginning, and now they have the result of him and Elliot, and his family knows about him. So
yeah, it was super cute for me when Sophie kind of brought up, oh, Danny's just doing a race because of a girl he likes. And Gary's at this house too when this is going on, and Gary's like, no, let's change the topic from that, because he knows Danny likes his friend, but Danny says no. He comes out, and Delilah's so perfect about it, and says she'll love him even more and all that. And it's just so sweet and adorable.
It's a nice lesson back to Delilah because it ties all back. That's what I like about the show, especially is it does a good job when, okay, this is his little scene about him coming out, but at the same time, it ties back into the whole other show about John was doing the same thing of he was just trying to live the life other people thought he was. So I think the show really does a good job of looking at the individual problems, but still tying into this whole overarching story.
Yeah.
Then also this week we had the return of the evil mother. Regina's mother comes back into the scene. I found her a lot less
I think it dialed down, yeah.
On this one, I could actually like root with her this time, or understand her at least, compared to times before where she seemed really terrible, just coming into the place and just ruining everything. Seeing her coming in, you know, she has a good point. If she wants to have that relationship with Regina, they're going to have to start over again. But Regina got to do some work on that as well.
Yeah.
It can't just be her mother saying, I'm sorry, and Regina keep bringing it up. So I'm hoping they go down the path where they're going to let the mother invest some monies, because I really don't think Rome should do commercials again.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Rome is off his antidepressant meds, and money needs to be made for this restaurant Regina's hosting to happen. And so if Rome does the commercials, is he gonna go back? It's just super risky, especially since that was one of the main reasons the first half of the show was he hated his job. He hated that, and that helped contribute a lot to his depression. And now you're going to go back to that job. You don't even have your meds to help you, you know. And so, gotta see what the show does with going there. And
very good. Anything else? Any other final ideas you got?
Well, we learned too that Delilah has to find a way to get $18 million, or else her house goes away.
You know, I kind of agree with Gary. I think that John has a plan. I also think that Ashley's not going to be this big sort of villainess that, you know, it's sort of being portrayed so far. I think somewhere in there, she's actually carrying out, maybe not the way John wanted her to, but carrying out this plan of what needs to be done. Because if I remember correctly, Ashley doesn't know that Delilah knows that she owes money. Does that make sense?
No.
I think Ashley still thinks this is her secret about the amount of money owed, and she's trying to take care of it on her own. Because at
the end of the race, Catherine calls Gary, and Catherine was
which is a great scene. I like that part where they go over and they knock on the door. It's the whole misdirection of you hear Catherine is knocking on the door, Gary's knocking on the door, and at the same time you see Ashley hearing the door knock. Then of course it's totally two different apartments.
Yeah.
So there's a nice little tense moment where you think there's going to be this confrontation.
I actually disagree with the whole Gary's point of view of this issue, because if John, you can't like go through life being like, oh, John had a plan for everything. Like, I think she can't just sit down and be like, my house will be out in 60 days, but I'll wait because I think my husband had a plan. I think she has to do a little bit more, like she has to fight for her house, but she got an extension. I know that was another thing this episode, so that will help a little bit.
I guess we'll have to see what other pieces falls into place.
Yeah. Setting up for the second half of the series and see where this goes. Thank you, everybody, and have a nice day.
Take care.